Dale. Dímelo, mi gente. What's up? Welcome to Dale No Limits, episode 8. This is Oscar, aka Mr. Don Dale.
This is Brian, aka Bianca.
And thank you once again for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday. All right. This is our 8th episode, so we really appreciate you always giving us love, feedback. We're all about for the community and, trying to tell one story at a time. So we really appreciate you for tuning in, giving us your time, whether that be that Wednesday at 8 p.m. or throughout the week, because we all know we live in the city that never sleeps, so we're constantly on the go. But thank you for tuning in and watching this episode. Before we start, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Electrolyte for sponsoring this episode. They sponsor hydration drinks through Body Art Run Club, and I co-organize a chapter, the New York City branch chapter / Brooklyn. So we really appreciate them for giving us the proper hydration to fuel us throughout this podcast, because as much as we need hydration to run, we also need some little hydration para platicar y hablar. So let's get it, my boy. The electrolytes. All right. I'll take coconut. People be sleeping on this flavor because coconut is really, I don't know. I think it tastes really good when it's really cold. So huge shout out to Electrolyte for that. So without further ado, before I give Bianca the mic, we definitely want to introduce this individual to the running community, the podcast that we're here sitting with you all this afternoon. So I met this individual roughly, so give or take, more than like a year going on, so consistently going to Paso, always with a warm smile, always cheering up the crowd, improving her pace throughout the time. Shout out today, she PR'd in her Mindful 5K today, so she killed it. We saw her out there, la estamos echando porras a todos, and we saw her just zooming. It was like, sheesh, where'd she go? So we definitely appreciate her joining us. Like I mentioned, positive vibe, positive energy. We can't wait to hear her story and get to know her more, or you guys get to know her more individually. All right, so I'm gonna pass over the mic to Bianca.
So how did I meet this person? I met this person, not at Paso, but at Goats. Goats Run Club at a track workout. It was on a Tuesday at Astoria. I could vouch and say she is a sweet, humble person, very hardworking. Every PR she does, she deserves it. That 5K, that Oscar mentioned, well deserved, but also she also ran the Maybelline's half marathon, and she also PR'd, which the medal is right there. We'll get into it in a second. But, I cannot just, add on and say that, how much we are proud of her, in meeting her, welcoming her to running communities. He met her at Paso, I met her at Goats. Every story is different, but, without further ado, welcome to guest number 8, Nicolle.
Ooh, dale. Woo! Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Oscar and Brian, for having me.
Yeah, so before we get started, just, once again, introduce yourself once again to the running community, the viewers out there. A quick little something about yourself that you would like for them to know, and then we'll proceed from there.
Alrighty. So, hi, everybody. My name is Nicolle Ayala. I'm 26 years old. I want to say that I started running about 2 years ago. However, when I first started running, I definitely was not able to hold a mile, or even my pace was really bad. I didn't really record it, didn't have Strava. I didn't know anything about Strava. Did not know anything about recording on my Apple Watch, with the Apple Fitness app. And and then slowly I just started joining all of these run clubs, these amazing run clubs in Queens, Brooklyn, the city. And that's how I started to meet, Oscar and Brian, a lot of amazing people in the running community. Something about me, I am born and raised in Queens, New York. I'm a Queens girly. I am currently working in healthcare and also getting my master's in healthcare administration.
Oof.
So I am juggling a lot.
Jeez, there you go. Latinas puede, all right?
Yeah, sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Oh, love to hear that. So thanks for giving a little overview of your career, your pathway at this particular moment, and also that you're 2 years into this journey. Why running? Why are you in this, I guess you can say this love story with running, because running is such a huge part of his life, my life,
Mm-hmm.
your life as well. You PR today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You also killed it at the Maybelline half marathon, which we're going to get into it momentarily. Why running? What got you into running at the first point, and why do you continue to still run?
Mhm. Well, I started running, like I said, 2 years ago. However, like I've always been this fit person. Like when I was younger, I was actually on my school swim team and also flag football team. I used to also be a cheerleader in high school. I was also like in dance classes. Like I would do jazz, hip hop, like all that. So I've always really like loved to move my body. However, in like 2020, I started like this on and off like 6-year relationship, and even though like I was using like working out as like a form of therapy, I even started going to like a therapist, even started going to like church more. I just felt like something was still missing. I didn't feel like going to the gym and therapy like was working anymore for me. Not saying that like it's anything bad or anything, but just for me personally, I felt like there was still something missing. And for me, like if you know me, I love to be outside. I love to like take walks. I love to just like be in nature. So I was like, how can I incorporate that and like fitness? So I was like, okay, let me start like jogging, or and then that's how I started like running. So yeah, I would say it was definitely due to like that relationship. Like I was saying, like running started to become a form of therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I loved being outside, but I kind of reached a point where I was like, okay, I kind of want to do this with other people around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this alone. It started to feel almost lonely, and I was starting to get in my thoughts. And that's when it started to become big on like TikTok and like Instagram. So I started to, on my feed, I would get videos from like these different like running communities. So I would say like 2024, that's when I was like, all right, let me step out of my comfort zone and let me join some of these like running communities. So I actually joined Ridgewood Runners in Brooklyn. Yeah, that was like my first run club. I loved it. Like they're amazing people. But again, like I still felt like I didn't belong in the running community. I felt like I wasn't a runner because I didn't look like them, and I didn't see like a lot of people that looked like me. So no shade to like Ridgewood Runners. That's just I just felt like there was something missing, and that's how I ended up like stumbling upon Paso. And it's because actually Angelo, some of his like videos started popping up on my feed, and I noticed that he was also Ecuadorian. So I was like, okay, let me follow him. He seems like a very like humble guy.
One of the humblest people
Yeah,
out there. Yeah.
he's very, very sweet. And instantly when we started like following each other, he would like step on my stories, and he would always send me like supportive message. He was like, you could do this, like keep pushing, one day you're gonna reach where you want to be in like your running journey. And so like I thought that was very sweet of him. Like he didn't know anything about me. I never met him like in person. So I was like, wow, like this person who knows nothing about me is already being supportive of my running journey. So I eventually ended up going to Paso.
Oof, Paso right there.
Yeah. Hey.
Oof.
And then honestly, I want to say it's because of the people that I met at Paso that I started continuing my running journey, and why I continue to pursue like even running a 5K. Like I always thought like, oh, I'm never going to sign up for races because I'm not fast enough, or like I'm not good enough. But I would say like the people that I met at Paso, they're like, no, like you could do it. Like don't be scared of the mileage. Don't be scared. Like don't even like think about racing it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because like once you're there, that's going to change your mentality. And then when I did my first like 5K race, I was like, wow, like why did I take so long to like sign up for a race? Like I could do this. Anyone could do this. It's not impossible. So yeah, I would say like just the people that I've met in the running community, they always push me to be a better version of myself, and why I was able to like PR and like Mindful and like Maybelline.
Oof. So we love to hear that, and I think once again, huge shout out to Angelo.
Yeah.
Once again, he is a huge pillar in the Paso running community. Always great vibes with him. Always supportive. Same as well.
Yeah.
He sees my setbacks. He sees my accomplishments, and he's always giving a positive, warm message, positive feedback. Like, yo, listen, you felt, especially for me for the marathon, it hit me hard that I didn't reach my goal. But he was very supportive. So Angelo, when you watch this, bro, thank you for bringing this individual into Paso, and then eventually through that here at the podcast, because you are more powerful than my brother. So thank you for that, because hey, also we would have never done this if it wasn't for Paso too. All the encouragement.
All of this would have happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of this would have happened.
Aw.
So I think that's the power of community.
Yeah.
All right. Just so you mentioned like these 5Ks, these races, right, and how essentially Paso is a warm, welcoming community towards you, right? Once again, me and Brian feel for you, because we also have experienced scenarios in our lives where we were in a relationship, it didn't work out, whatever. I think the powerful thing about it is that we live and learn.
Yeah.
And I think that is a testimony of yourself, that you saw running as like a form of therapy, a form of way to you to like be active, be surrounded by people, hold yourself accountable through others. We know through Paso and through Ghost that you have met a great friendship group. You have a great friendship group in your friends. What do those friends mean to you now? Because we see them, I mean, they're also our mutual friends, I mean, I wouldn't want to say we're in different cliques or different groups, but we all come together. We're one big family.
Yeah.
But a veces, los barras they can only support so much, or like these athletes can only support so much that we got to go elsewhere. What did those individuals mean to you?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I definitely
You can
have
shout
to.
out names if you want
Yeah,
to.
I was about to do that.
Hey, be transparent, be yourself.
Yeah. Well, okay. Definitely gonna shout out Leslie, Gabby, and Francisco, because without them, honestly, I would have not been able to PR for Maybelline, especially for Gabby. Like, thank you. She stayed with me throughout those miles. She kept pushing me. Even like we were like doing like funny content, and for me, like that was like a little distraction even in Maybelline. Like, it was just like me trying to be in the moment and just having fun with it. But yeah, like they mean a lot to me, especially when I started joining Paso. Like they would always encourage me to like pick up my pace too. They were like, you could do it. Like, why are you holding yourself back? Like, what is the reason? Like, don't be scared. So yeah, like I would say my friends have become like my family. Like I don't consider them no more like my running friends. And yeah, like without them, I would definitely have not PR'd for sure. They give me like the confidence boost that I needed. Yeah.
We all have that friends that motivate you, that that push you to exceed limits and to conquer goals and dreams, and like I said, PR, because who would ever thought you were going to run 152?
I know.
And Maybelline's, who would ever thought? 2
152.
Harlem Hills. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the power of friendship. That's the power of support. That's a positive positivity. So it's everything in general. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Maybellines. How was it? Just waking up in the morning. Were you nervous? What you were going through your mind? What was going through it?
So my goal, like I said, was sub 2. And I didn't think that I was going to achieve it because my first half marathon actually got canceled. It was the Stein Island half.
I was so mad about that.
Yeah, it got canceled due to rain. It didn't even rain that day. It didn't even rain.
There was no wind, no nothing.
Nothing. But I still decided to do the Stein Island half, like on my own. So I ran from my house, like in Queens, all the way to the NYRR Center, and like ran a loop in Central Park to get like the Stein Island medal. So I ended up doing, I think it was like 2:30. So when I had set my goal of sub 2, I was like, okay, I'm decreasing that by like 30 minutes, well, more than 30 minutes. So I was like, can I do it? And so I had like a lot of doubts leading up to Maybelline. But one of the things that definitely helped me was training. So I use Runna, and I know a lot of people here use Runna. So thank you to Pao for like the 2 weeks code, because that definitely helped a lot. But I use Runna for my training plan. And again, I had another setback because I started to feel pain in my shins, which I had never felt before. And I feel like that is probably the worst pain that a runner could feel. Because when I first started running, it was like knee pain. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to set this goal for Maybelline. Like I had a lot of doubt for myself, and I think that's something that I do a lot as well, is that I bring myself down, and I kind of get into this place of like just like overthinking things. And so when I stepped into like Maybelline, I was very nervous. I like kept telling Gabby, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do sub 2. Like I think I'm just gonna do this for the vibes. And she was the one who was like, no, like again, like stop being in your head, stop overthinking it, just feel it out. Like if you do sub 2, great, and if you don't do it, like at least you did it, you showed up, like you weren't scared to like to run it, and you had fun, and you're gonna like have the support of like Paso, like everybody there was cheering, you're gonna have your parents there. So Yeah, I would say like for Maybelline, for me, I think like moving forward, I just don't want to put a lot of pressure for myself. I think like yes, I've been PRing, but I think I also just I want to like live in the moment more with these races. You know, like I definitely don't want to like set these crazy goals for myself because I don't want to injure myself since I'm also training for the New York City Marathon. Yeah,
Yeah,
ay.
you're gonna be wearing one of those right there this
Yeah,
year.
I'm gonna go from here to here.
Right, that's a big accomplishment right there.
Hey.
You know, Nicole, you're gonna be before we get into touch about the New York City Marathon this year because you're gonna be running as well. So big congrats on that.
Thank you.
You know, what was one of your biggest setbacks in your life that made you want to say, I'm gonna lace up my boots, I'm gonna go for a run? What was? I know you mentioned first of all you mentioned the 6-year relationship. Like Oscar said, we all go through a past, dark past, where we were stuck at one point, and we use running as a form of therapy. A lot of people say, oh, don't go to to a therapist because what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like some people say don't do it, you can do it handle by yourself, but it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to seek the help you need, a professional help if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We all go through that. So what was your biggest setback in your life that made you want to choose running apart from everything that you've gone through in the past?
Yeah, I would definitely say like even though like I did started working out like right after the pandemic, I started to develop like body dysphoria. I would always just pick at like little things on my body, and I was just very unhappy with like the way that I looked. So when like running started to become very trendy on TikTok and like Instagram, I was like, okay, maybe like I should give this a try and see if it would help also with like my body dysphoria, if it would like make me, love my body more. So I started running, and I also started to wear Honor Active. So yes, if you've seen like my IG page, it's all like Honor Active, and I would say that definitely helped with like my setback too. Like I said, I wasn't happy with my body, so when I started to purchase like more Honor Active like outfits, I just started to feel more confident in myself. Like even in my running, I was like, okay, like I can do this. I can run like a mile. I can even like exceed a mile. I don't need to be like a fast runner. I don't have to run like at a certain pace to just get out there, like lace up my sneakers and like run. So I would say like oh my god, wait, I forgot the question.
The question? What was your setback? Like what was your something that held you back to now start running before to making you run now? Like what was your biggest setback?
Okay. Yeah, I would say like I was mentioning before, just like the body dysphoria was definitely my biggest setback, and ever since like I found Honor Active and even just joining like more run clubs, like I definitely felt more confident in my running. And like I said, I've been able to like even run long distances. I think that was also like my struggle in the beginning too. I was like, I don't think I'd be able to ever run like 13 miles. I don't think I would ever be able to do like a half marathon.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for being vulnerable, and because we're all here. We're all one here. Between friends. Supporting one another. So thank you for being vulnerable and touching base on that. So you mentioned one Honor Active. I'm like, sheesh. Let me Honor Active, right? Honor Active. What does that mean to you at this particular moment? What is your future ambition with Honor Active? Because we have seen your stories. Honor Active is a great athletic wear, and it gives we're happy to hear that it gives you confidence, right? Because I think we all have to love ourselves, right, in order to seek the best version of ourselves. I think that is very important to have self-love. So we are very happy for you, right? You are loving yourself at this particular moment, that you're comfortable, right, with your body, right, and that you're wearing Honor Active because we see it on a daily. What does it mean for you at this particular moment, and what are your future ambitions with Honor?
So like I said before, like I started wearing Honor Active, I would say like right after the pandemic, so 2022. I was following this girl on Instagram, and I would see like how confident she always looked in her like workout videos, and that was also another reason like why I started to lift heavier at the gym, because I started feeling confident and comfortable like doing these workouts that I thought that I could never do. And ever since then, like I swear, like I've only worn Honor Active. Like I haven't worn anything else.
Oof, Honor, you're hearing this. You're hearing this.
So, and I think that was also like my testimony to like how loyal I am to like a brand that, you know, it just shows up for like their girls, because it is like a woman-owned business, and it is like catered to women. So that's like just shows like how much loyalty that I have to a brand, and like a reason why I want to work with them in the future, and why like one day I would want to have like my own code, because I do believe that like if a brand makes you feel like that good, if a brand is able to like show up for the women like that, and even like sending like positive messages like to people like me, like I even get like messages from like the Honor Active team like telling me like, you know, how look I good in this outfit, or they even like repost like my videos, or like they even like my videos, and like I wanted one day like, well, I want to show them now like how much I appreciate them for like showing up for me, because I feel like that's also important to me. Like a brand that like notices me, who has like what little followers, I'm like, wow, okay, if I can do it, if I can like get those like that kind of comment from them, if I can get likes from them, then like imagine like how big I can go with this brand.
No, for sure, sky's the limit. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, Honor, you hopefully you're watching the Dale podcast, or you know,
Sponsor her.
or you sponsor her, that is circulating through your feed, repost the reels, etc. With that being said, you know, we would love for Honor to possibly sponsor you in the marathon with your outfit, right?
Yeah.
How would that feel for you? And more particular on that question, like, what does it mean for you to run the New York City Marathon? Because you, last year, we were there watching you, or running some races alongside you with the 9+1 program, which is essentially, folks, 9 races, 1 volunteer in the calendar year prior to the next year's marathon. So what Nicolle did last year was did 9 races, 1 volunteer in the year of 2025 to qualify for 2026. What is your ambitions for this marathon? Your timing that you're setting yourself goal. I know you mentioned that it's just vibes, so we would love to see that just for the vibes, because you know, to become a 1% marathoner, it is already an accomplishment in itself. Nobody can take that away from you. You can have the medal with you wherever you go, but your name is going to be there when it says 2026 Nicolle New York City 2026 marathon. It's going to be history. So what is your thought process on that, and how does this marathon mean to you?
Well, okay, so like I said before, I really did not expect myself to run a marathon. Like I knew nothing about like the 9+1 program. I learned about it like through the friends that I've made at Paso. Like they were also like on their journey to do the 9+1. So when I saw like the races were still available, I was like, okay, like I still have time to like sign up for these 9+1 races. So I was like, let me do it. Like maybe throughout this like 1 year, I will definitely surprise myself. And I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm terrified running a marathon. I've never done it. Like you said, like I'm doing it like pure vibes. I don't really have like a goal for this year's marathon. I am doing the 9+1 again for 2027. So I guess like for 2026, I'm just kind of like testing the waters out to see like how I do. I'm obviously going to like train for it, but I don't really have like any specific goals. I kind of just want to run the marathon and just kind of like take everything in, like soak in the scenery, soak in the crowd. I do plan to like not run with like music for maybe like the first 13 minutes. I mean 13 miles. Yeah. And then like after that, like maybe like I don't know, listen to music or whatever. But yeah, I think my goal, like I said before, it was just like pure vibes, and like hopefully like bump into like my friends, because I know a lot of the people at Paso are like also running the New York City Marathon this year. So yeah, just like have fun with it, soak it in, and I will be like the first one in my family to like run a marathon. So yeah, I think just, you know, like having them there like to support me, it's gonna mean a lot to me. It's also gonna like show them, or like just prove to myself as well, like the growth that I made like with myself like throughout the years. I was not, you know, a very like disciplined person like in my first like half of my 20s. I didn't really take a lot of things seriously like fitness wise, and so I think like this year, the fact that I'm even like committed to like running races, or even signing up for races like last minute, like I'm doing the Cinco de Mayo tomorrow with you guys. Yeah. I think like just that also just is a testimony to like how much I've grown as well, and like how much commitment I'm gonna also put into like this marathon.
we're gonna be there to support you, Nicolle, because
Thank you.
he's running it, I'm running it, you're running it, the whole group is running it. So, you hear the word marathon and it could be very intimidating.
Yeah.
You could say half marathon, we've done it multiple.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear marathon, it's like, wow, 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
You gonna keep on running and you're gonna keep on running, and then when is the end? Is there someone you're dedicating this marathon to? Is there somebody who influenced you to run, or is there somebody who inspires you? In other words, who you're dedicating this New York City Marathon to?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm definitely dedicating this to like little me, young me, because I never really had anyone, like I said, in my family who ever like ran a marathon. I also when I was younger, I did go through like a lot of troubles, and so there was a lot of times where I felt like I felt very lost. I felt like I didn't belong somewhere. I felt like I didn't deserve like this life. So I would say, like I said before, just I've made a lot of growth in my life, and I've been very grateful for the opportunities that I've been presented, especially like here being on this podcast. Like when I got the message, I was like, wow, I can't believe they want me to share my story, because I was just like in shock. And well, thank you guys too for like bringing me here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm just like dedicating this to like little me. I know that I would be so proud of myself for doing something that I always thought like felt like hard, that I felt like I could never do, because I would never see someone that looked like me, like a Latina, doing this. I felt like growing up, when I would see people running the marathon, it was always people who I never really like had in my life, like who never like were in my circle, I would say. So yeah, just like dedicating this to myself and proving to myself that like I could do hard things.
As Latinos, Ecuadorian, Mexican, Ecuadorian, we could all say that we had hardworking parents.
Mm-hmm.
They were always there for us, granting us the life that we have right now. Them coming into this country with nothing, and then giving us that blessing of being who we are right now. And as you mentioned, your little self, you want to dedicate that marathon to your little self. Let's just say your little self is right there next to you, right? Is there a message you want to give to your little self?
I would definitely tell her that I am very proud and that I'm glad that she did not give up. I'm glad that she kept pushing forward and that she got out of her comfort zone. Because I would say, like, growing up, I was this very like shy person. I didn't really have the best circle around myself because I didn't know who I was. I lacked a lot of like self-love. I didn't like I had lost a lot of my values due to like my 6-year relationship. So I would just like give herself a hug. I would tell her like, there might be like bumps on the roads. People might be like there will always be like some kind of battle in my life, but that doesn't mean that I'm not this good person, or I'm not like this dedicated person, or that like I don't deserve like these good things in life. So I would definitely tell her like to be kind to herself, that even in like these dark times, there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
No, yeah, for sure. Thank you for being vulnerable. We really appreciate that because we're all here, safe place. Latinos, Latinas. Growing up, we didn't really have like people that look like us in these spaces, right? It was always like these athletes, but like never like someone that looked just like us. So we really want to say like you're more powerful than because you lead with fidelity. I mean, when you're in the run clubs with us, you're smiling, bringing joy. You're always welcoming us, giving us high, especially us, since we're teachers. We coming in like with like our bags, we're like cansados, we're there in the corner, but you out there with the energy and be like, yo, you know what, I got it, like let's get this 5K, dale. So thank you, because you are very a positive influence to the running community. With that being said, we know you're looking forward for this year's marathon, next year marathon. What is your future with the marathon journeys, the races? Like, what are some other goals that you see there in the future? Because of course New York City is home. That is a world major in itself. You're gonna run it back to back, but just like I'm gonna run it back to back this year. What is your long-term goals with running?
Well, I definitely want to do like more marathons like outside of the country. Like you said, there are other world majors, but you do have to like do them through like lottery, or like,
Mhm.
you could also be selected, I guess, by like pace.
Yeah.
But I think one of my biggest goal is to run a marathon in Ecuador, because, like I said, that's where my family is from, and some of my family. They're not able to like travel over here and watch me run a marathon here, so I would be very blessed to like run a marathon over there, especially have my grandpa. My grandpa, he's right now 98 years old, or
Ooh.
97.
God bless. God
And
bless.
yeah, so if he would be able to come out and like watch me run a marathon, even if it is for like a few seconds, I would be very proud of myself. I would also, I would just love to have my family there. I have a big family in Ecuador, and have like having like see me run a marathon is also like a big accomplishment, because, like I said, my family over there, they always like see me running, and they would also like swipe up on my stories. They're like, well, how do you do this? Like,
Oh, yeah.
how do you run like 3 miles? Like, or even like, why do you continue running? Like, tell me. Like, I also want to start running, because I see you posting stories, and you always look so happy, and you've met, and I see like the friends you've made, and you just it just brings a different glow in you.
Yeah, for sure.
So my goal, for sure, is to hopefully run like all the world majors and run a marathon back in Ecuador.
Oof, we would love to be there in the journey and be in the process.
Yeah.
The world majors, you gotta chill it down though, because they just added Sydney, Australia to the world majors.
Oh, my.
Allegedly, there's gonna be
What's like Africa?
China, South Africa. So you gotta, tranqui, because our needs can only
I
support so
know.
much, And I think I love the fact that you respond with that, because that's also another question I'm gonna segue. How do you do it all? Work, the multiple run clubs that you are also a part of, which are like they meet various different days. Paso, Goats.
Yeah.
I'm not. Saints, you're running with Saints
Yeah,
now on
Saints on
Saturdays.
Saturdays, long runs.
She goes to school too.
School too.
School.
Your master's degree.
Dios mío.
Like, how are you juggling it all in the city that never sleeps? Like, what is your way in which you juggle it? Because I was there too, right, with the masters. I mean, teaching, basically it's like a 7 to 3, but it's actually like a 7 to 7.
Right.
You're planning for the next day, etc. I'm also doing my own training block. How do you manage it all with fidelity and with grace? Because I think from an outside perspective, it seems like you're able to time manage it, but how do you do it?
That is a good question, because I don't really know how I do it either. I really don't. But I would say with school, at least for this year, I was able to. Well, last year when I started my master's, I took a lot of my classes, so that's kind of what like hindered me from like running a lot. I really wasn't like being consistent on the running community as much as I wanted to. But then this year, because I took a lot of my classes last year, I was able to like come to Paso more often, go to Saints, even do like track with Wet and Goats on Tuesdays. But yeah, I would say that with like time management, it can be very difficult. There's times where I come out of my 9 to 5, and I don't wanna go to Paso, or like I don't wanna do track. But sometimes like what reminds me is just like the fun that I will have, and also just like being like disciplined on my training, and I think it also helps that like when I see like my friends also, post on their stories, or like, the Instagram, like that they just came out like from their 9 to 5 and they don't want to like do this, but it doesn't stop the training block. It doesn't mean that they will just like stay home and do the things that they have to do, because like running still continues, right? We still have like the next race. So that's what also like helps a lot, having like a race aligned. And for me, I am very like, I never want to do something that is not at my best. Like I always want to do something at my 100%, and I would say there have been times where I would have to like kind of take a step back from running and be like, okay, like if my body is telling me to rest, then I have to listen. Like I can't keep pushing myself or keep, doing the mileage if my body and my mind are not there. So I would definitely like give out the advice, if your body's telling you to take a break, to take care of itself, like listen to it.
You gotta tell me that, because sometimes people tell me, rest.
This guy's dealing with so many injuries.
So many injuries, so
He's
many
still
pains, PRing. People ask me how I still do it. It's a different question. You also mentioned Paso, Goats, Saints, Ridgewood Runners. You know, you got Wepa.
Wepa.
You've gone to a lot of run clubs, you know,
Yeah.
and I could still say that you've, gone and you're still killing it. But you also mentioned that you met your friends in Paso Run Club.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned Gabby, you mentioned Leslie, you mentioned Francisco. You know,
Yes.
you met them in Paso Run Club. What message do you want to give to the viewers on why they should join Paso Run Club?
Oof. Okay. Well, this is your sign to join Paso Run Club. Yes.
Established 2024. They celebrated 2 years.
Yes, they have. So yeah, congrats to Paso for 2 years. I would say just like the open door policy that they have. The first time that I went to Paso was actually for Angelo's birthday back in August, and the first person that talked to me was Francisco. He actually like came up to me and he started talking to me, and instantly like I felt very welcomed at Paso. You know, I didn't feel like it was like very cliquey. And then eventually, because I started going to Paso more and more, Francisco, like I said, he would introduce me to like other people, and then that's how I started to open up and I started to make more friendships. And after that, like I was like, okay, let me branch out. Like, let me make it a goal of myself that each time like I go to Paso, like I would meet like one new individual, like that I would go up to them, and eventually like I started, I guess, to become like a regular. So then my goal was like, okay, I know how it feels, how scary it feels to come into like a new running community or like a new run club. And I know how intimidating it could be. So my goal was like, I want to be now that person that goes up to somebody and says like, hey, like, how are you? What's your name? Is this your first time at Paso? And like kind of introduce myself. And then I've noticed too, like people before they go to Paso, like they would start following me and they would like message me. They're like, hey girl, like, are you going to Paso? And they're like, I'm going to go this Thursday. And I'm like, yeah, like pull up. I'm going to be there. And then, that's how I kind of like also started introducing other people to like Paso too, and like joining them, and they would thank me saying like, oh, because of you, like I got the courage to like come to Paso and not be so intimidated by it.
And I can resonate the same thing. You know, when I came to Paso, I feel like even Oscar too. You know, we were all like introverted at one point, quiet, didn't know what to say, what to do, who to meet, who to talk to, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we also have that one friend. For you it was Francisco, for us it was someone else. So it's like it all connects to one big family. So let's leave the running aside at one point, right? You know, we know your goals for the running journey that you're going to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
What is one goal, Nicolle, that you want to pursue besides the running journey? Let's say, you know, let's take it aside. You complete your New York City Marathon. One day you're going to complete the Ecuador Marathon. What's one goal that you see yourself in a couple of years from now that you say you want to achieve it, you want to conquer it, you want it so bad?
I would say one goal of myself would be to definitely like love myself more. Like I said, I've had a very like troubled past, a very troubled childhood, and I feel like to this day it is still affects me a lot. It affects me in like my romantic relationships and in my friendships, and sometimes when I get into like this dark place, like I just want to isolate myself. And like I said before, I still feel like I don't deserve like the good things in life. And I know a lot of people would come up to me and say like that you're a very bubbly person, that you're very positive. Like I got comments from like, you know, some of my close friends that were saying like, you know, you just seem very positive. Like now that you've opened up to us, like we've never thought that you like, you know, gone through these things in life. And I think like my goal is to definitely love myself and to just like be kinder. I think a lot of us, we always think that we don't deserve the best in life, that we're not like these good people, or you know that we don't deserve like the good things in life. So I would say just loving myself more would be a goal, and definitely using like running and the people that I've met to like continue that journey.
Thank you for that. I mean, just hearing that already like touched me really to the core, really, because I also struggle with like self-love. Like, am I even like worthy of myself? Like, I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, am I happy with what I'm seeing? Do I got to go out there to run? Do I got to hit the gym? Because, you know, self-love is something that we all, you know, have our own unique battle with. Mm-hmm. And I think that you mentioning us in person and to the viewers is already like a method in which how you're conquering that, how you're working your way towards self-loving yourself. Like you said, you have amazing friends. Never doubt that. All right. Francisco's going to be watching this soon on the podcast. So, quiere llorar. All right. So, we are hopeful for you to give us that like and that subscribe. And that shout out, bro. That
Hopefully
comment. A comment, my boy Francisco El Pancho. Because I can attest to what you just said about Pancho. Pancho is such a great guy. Known him more or less like literally a year and a half now. A year and a half ago, I met him. I met him. The story that I can remember meeting him was we went to this Cuban spot where they was having live music on a Paso Thursday in Central Park. So we appreciate this individual. We can't wait to have this guy in the podcast because sheesh, this guy went from quién sabe, I'm not even gonna mention it, to hitting PRs left and right, conquering his goal. I mean, his number is sheesh. I don't know. I'm a little worried he's gonna catch up to me one of these days.
He
so
should come on the podcast.
He should. He should come to the podcast one day. So you have great friends. So what I want to say to you is like lean on to those friends. Make sure that you know they love you. They hold you accountable. They're always going to be there for you. Also as well, we're there because we see the smile, the energy that you bring into our lives in the running community. Becoming entire. Well, okay, she's in here. Well, we're doing this. So we're running. We're doing that 5K. So, just give yourself some grace. And, trust the process. Everything's going to work out well for you. And you have a community with us in Paso. We are here for you for whenever you want.
Thank you guys.
Our DMs, our message box is always open. So, with that being said, it looks like it is time for that special Dale message, right?
Sponsored by
Reyes Deli. So a Dale message pretty much in a nutshell is like a word of affirmation, something that you want the viewers to leave off with something. Words of encouragement, wisdom, and advice that you were given that you would like to share to the world. Because I think, in this era where, there's a lot of hate in the world, there's a lot of like shaming people, what have you, wars going on. It is important to like look at the bright side and like if we're able to touch one person at a time, if we're able to like show kindness to one person at a time, I think that's already a win in itself. And eventually, hopefully, we come into world peace. We're able to get along with everybody, not have hate in this world because it's too much. Uno nunca sabe lo que va a pasar mañana. Like Bad Bunny, right? So yeah, any words of encouragement, affirmation, wisdom?
Well, I definitely want to start that it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is May.
Yeah, it is
Right.
May. So I would say like my Dale message would definitely be like be kind to one another because you never know like who you're like talking to and what are they battling, right? We all have like our struggles. We're all going through something. So something that I've always like been taught like as a little girl from my parents is that just be kind. Like it doesn't hurt to be kind. It doesn't cost you anything. Like always lead with love. And if someone doesn't reciprocate that, then that's fine. Like move on. And maybe you guys like are in different paths, but in the future, God willing, or if God wants to, si Dios quiere, maybe that person will then eventually like want your positivity or like want your love. So I would definitely just say like be kind to one another, because again, like you don't know what they're going through, what's going through their head, and if you are leading like with hate, if you are leading with like bad intentions, you don't know like how that could affect them at the end of the day. So yeah, and this is why like I love going to the running communities too, because I want to be like that inspiration for somebody. I want to be like that hope for somebody, and hopefully like I could be a glimmer of light in their life, or like in that moment. So yeah.
To close off, Nicolle, I just want to say thank you for accepting, the request of joining on our episode today. And before we close off, I just want to say we're proud of you. We're extremely proud of you. Those 2 medals right there are going to mean the world to you. But before that, the work you put in means more. The work you put in to get those medals means the world to you. So, as somebody who can relate that had also like a past, a dark past, we made it.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're still showing up. We're still giving it our all. So I'll just say, don't look back at it. You have the crown right now. Embrace the crown. Don't let nobody take that away from you. You deserve everything. That PR you did today, you did it. It was not me. It was you. It was you. That PR right there, you did it because you showed up. So on behalf of Oscar and myself, we are proud of you and hopefully to see more PRs.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me here.
Edit out.
So before thank you for your words, bro, and I agree 110% with what you just said. You are more powerful than you know. We appreciate you joining us and accepting the invite, because we was like, who's next? Who are we gonna bring? We gotta bring somebody who is a leader without even realizing that that individual is a leader. And when we talked about it, it was like, yo, it's Nicolle, right? She's doing amazing things with Honor Active. She's posting, she's hitting these PRs, starting the content creation too. She's been in the content creation for quite some time now. So we was like, you know what? Who better than Nicolle for episode? I'm losing my train of thought. 8. Oh my gosh. It's been 8 episodes. All because of you, the viewers, and the interviewees, the guests who come on every Saturday to join us. So please keep doing what you're doing. You're always going to have 2 friends in us that are going to support you. Lean on your friends. That Nicolle of your past self as a kid is very proud of yourself presently. And to many more miles to come. We see nothing but great things in your future.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you. And ya como, we say it. Uno no sabe lo que va a pasar mañana. So we got to live life 100%, 100%, always living it in the moment.
And never stop smiling, Nicolle. Never stop
Hey.
smiling.
I'm smiling so hard right now.
Dale.
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 Thank you. Bye.